What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got a new model in from Kansept. Really excited to check this one out. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, we have the Cybin in today, and this one is a very unique piece coming from Kansept because it's actually a limited run. I believe, if I understand correctly, it looks like they're doing around 300 pieces in each variant. So not 300 total, but like this one has 300 in this particular version, I think, if I understand it correctly. If you definitely have a better understanding of it, let me know down in the comments below. But I really like this one. You got titanium with frag on it, titanium pocket clip that works really well. Good retention, goes in and out of the pocket nicely. You have a 50% length backspacer made out of titanium here, very nicely centered. I love the fact that it wraps right up to where the blade snugs in when you have this in the closed position. Internal relief cut, and again, very nice frag pattern on here. I believe the hardware is titanium. Nope, steel hardware. But the fasteners appear to be made from titanium, so that is good. It's just steel in the pivot, which is actually fine with me. I feel like where you want to torque this down and make sure that there's no movement, these steel fasteners are going to be a little less susceptible to potential stripping in that instance, so good strength there. It has an opening hole. Let's pop her open and see what she looks like. Nice blade shape. You have S35 VN as your blade steel. Static wash on this particular variant. I believe they have coated and uncoated versions. You have a nice harpoon here with a swedge up on the top, kind of looking like a rhino, I guess, is the only thing I can think of to describe this piece of the blade here. Nice clip point with a very low tip. It's going to be very useful for those utility cuts and things of that nature. The lock bar access looked like it was going to be a little tight, but they give you a little ramp here and a little chamfer, so when I actually go to hit it, it actually works beautifully. Good tune on that detent. It works very good. Very snappy on the deployment. Very satisfying. I like that one a lot. Took it down to the garage to do some cutting with it, and it has a very nice factory edge. Sliced through the catalog paper, and when you went to the cardboard, it is very slicey, guys. It has a nice tall flat grind with a belly, so it moves through the cardboard very good. And as you would expect, as to be expected when you went to do the detail work and trace cutting, that performed extremely well. The tip is nice and low, able to easily get power out to it, and it has a nice acute tip as well. The factory edge seemed to hold up well. When I tested it after a little bit of cutting, it remained sharp with very few, if any, imperfections at all. It was very comfortable while cutting. I didn't feel any hot spots, no sharp edges or anything like that. The relief cut being internal, not able to feel that. The pocket clip is knocked down nicely. And it's not quite a four-finger grip for me because I do kind of land right on the hump here. But it's so chamfered and knocked down that it's actually really comfortable. It is flat scales. It is chamfered around the edges here, so you don't really feel the flat frag biting into you where it meets the edge of the scale. So I do appreciate the fact that they paid attention to all that to ensure that this was going to be super comfortable. This is more of a medium EDC for me, not quite a large, but let's go ahead and grab a couple knives to bring out here for size comparison, and I think that'll really help show. All right, guys, we have the Chavez Blue Label Redention Street out here, which is definitely more a medium-sized EDC. And then we also have the Mannix 2 Lightweight on the table, which I consider to be more of a full-sized EDC. And as you can see, the Cybin is actually the same roughly sized as the Redention Street. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll weigh the knife. All right, guys, I do have the WE-XL out on the table here. As you can see, that is more of a full-sized EDC. And then the Cybin is closely sized to the Benchmade bug out here on the table. You can see really close. I think the bug out may have just a slight edge on. No, they're about the same. Yeah, I would definitely say they're roughly the same length. It's really close. Let's go ahead and grab the scale and check the weight on this one. All right, we got the scale out, cut on. Let's see what the Cybin comes in at. coming in at 4 ounces, and really not that bad considering this has a little bit of a more thicker presence overall. I know the bug out is a really skinny bottle. Let's go ahead and do the Mannix 2 lightweight with the Applied Weapon Tech scales. And as you can see here, just a little bit more chonky than the Mannix 2 lightweight. So a thicker scale. It does have some milling internally on the show side scale to reduce that weight a little bit there. And you do have a fairly tall blade. The way they designed this particular blade to look, you have a little bit more steel on the top, whereas you may traditionally see more of like a type of drop point. I don't think this steel is going to add a ton of weight, but again, I think it is a very good weight for a medium EDC. Let's move the scale out of the way and we'll go ahead and wrap up with final thoughts and impressions. These fucking glasses. Okay guys, final thoughts and impressions for the Cybin. Overall, I really like the aesthetic. I think it does have a little bit of a unique personality while still having very neutral and ergonomically friendly scales so that the handle feels comfortable in hand. The harpoon lands in a really good spot for me to be able to get my thumb where I need it for cutting and doing detailed work, and then out of the way. It's going to be really, really nice. The sharpening choil, they did bring that plunge gun way back, but I would have liked to see just a little indentation there for you to be able to add your own sharpening choil. The way the stop pin lands right there is behind the blade, so you could add that yourself if you're able to do so, or you could reach out to someone that may know how to do that for you. I like the frag pattern on this one. The titanium pocket clip has some styling that kind of matches the front of the blade, so I do appreciate that. Kind of looks like the belly of the blade and like the very tip of the blade. So I think that's kind of unique. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional, but I kind of feel like it was. You're getting titanium fasteners and titanium in the back here with that back spacer. Steel hardware here in the pivot, which is fine with me. I really think that is okay because you're not going to really strip it when you try to disassemble this, which we'll do in a later video. Excellent access to that lock bar. The action on this is really smooth, and it's remained locked up solid the entire time that I've used and carried this one. For me, I think, let me explain my scale system to you first. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1's the worst, 10's the best. 7 caps where budget knives land just because of materials used, including the steel. And there's some exceptions to that, obviously. For me on this one, I am actually going to land at an 8.4. I really like this a lot. I think it's a good size for everyday carry. Not all my knives need to be full size, but all of my knives need to be comfortable ergonomically for me to use. So while I do swallow this up, no doubt, this is actually going to serve its purpose very well on my day-to-day carry. Occasionally open some packages, opening some mail, cutting some loose string, and then, any other cutting tasks that I may need to do, occasionally breaking a box down, etc., etc. So I really do like this one. I think it's going to be right in that sweet spot for everybody's daily carry, and I think they do such a great job on their fit and finish. Kansept's one of those brands that I think continue to improve a little bit each year and a little bit with each model, so I'm really happy to see that. Let me know what you think about the Cybin down in the comments below. I am curious to see what you think. And if you enjoyed the video, a like on the way out would be appreciated. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Love to have you follow along. I am an affiliate, so I do have affiliate links down in the description below where you can pick up the Cybin. When you use those links, it does help the channel. A special shout out and thanks to my channel members. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate all that extra loyal support that you provide. I'm out of here, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.